Hi there, I'm Lottie from Metal Temple, and I've got Jill Janus from Huntress with me at the 1865 in Southampton. So how are you, Jill?
Oh, fabulous. Cold like you.
So you're currently, excuse me for stating the obvious, you're currently on tour with everybody's favourite Swedish metal Vikings, AMON AMARTH.
Yes.
So the last day of the UK tour, how has it gone so far?
It's been fantastic. The UK crowd is just really boisterous.
Yeah.
So we've had a lot of fun. You guys are ragers, real headbangers.
I can guarantee that will be exactly like that in Southampton tonight.
Well, they better. I'm going to really unleash the fury.
Yeah, we do have a lot of metal heads in Southampton.
Good.
So,
Good.
yeah,
And
expect chaos.
Yeah, and it's the launch zone for the Titanic, I hear.
Yeah.
Launched,
Yeah, it
launched
is.
right down there, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
it is. I understand this isn't your first time in Southampton.
I believe we played here last year around the same time with Lamb of God and Decapitated.
Sweet. Have there been any highlights on the tour so far?
There's been a few. It's been a really interesting tour. I mean, we're not even halfway through yet, and you know, back in Plymouth, Johan Haig, the lead singer of AMON AMARTH, he blew out his voice, so I had to step in, and I kind of like emceed the show, and the boys played an instrumental set and brought up a couple fans, and I sang Guardians of Asgard. So it was really well received. I'm really pleased with you know, the reaction from the crowd. They were very loving, and it just made my life a little bit easier, thinking I might get murdered.
Because it can go either way.
Yeah, it sure can. It sure can. Especially being a woman, you never know. I might get stoned, and not in a good way.
Yes. And is there sort of any funny or weird stories from the tour you want to share?
Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent.
That place. That fucking place. Well, you know, I warned the boys. I said there's certain towns in England where, you know, there's a bunch of drunk blokes, especially the amateurs. You know, they just start drinking at 18. That was the case at Stoke-on-Trent. And my guitar player, Eli Santana, who's Mexican, there was some racist slurs handed at him on the street, and that turned into him being attacked by basically 9 drunk dudes. So it turned into an all-out brawl. And then, you know, Ian and Tyler and Blake, everybody just kind of stepped in and tried to protect him. It turned into them saying that he you know, broke the jaw of the initial guy that was calling him a terrorist.
Oh my God.
He ended up in jail for 16 hours. The only thing that vindicated him was a video that shows him getting attacked and then a shadowy figure stepping in and breaking this kid's jaw.
He's all right now, though.
He's okay, but it's been one of those tours. So Stoke-on-Trent, you drunk blokes, watch out.
Yeah. I understand you're working on a new album.
We are, yeah. It's almost done. We are going to head back after AMON AMARTH and just a few things to finish up in the studio. And then it's going to be handed over to Napalm Records, and it's coming out this summer.
Fantastic.
Yeah, really pumped.
Really good. Is there any like tracks on there that you're looking forward to everybody hearing?
We're already performing a bunch of tracks on this tour. You know, we're kind of using it as a test almost. Like we're kind of throwing a few new songs at the crowds and seeing what we can improve on. So that's kind of fun. I think it's going to be fun for the fans too, especially looking back in any videos that kind of end up on YouTube. Be like, oh fuck, I changed the lyrics there, or it's going to be interesting because there is a lot of reworking going on stage. So it's been really fun. I would say that, you know, it's going to be the best album we've put out thus far.
Yeah. I was about to ask how different or similar is it going to be from your previous records? Because I understand no record's the same.
Well, you know, the first 3 albums. This is the third one.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a trilogy. When I started Huntress, I wanted to do the first 3 albums like a spiritual journey for myself, which are the tribute to the triple goddess, Maiden, Mother, and Crone.
Okay.
So the first album, Spell Eater, is Maiden phase. You could kind of hear it's a little more furious. There's more sexuality in that first record.
Yeah.
The second album, Starbound Beast, is a little more thoughtful. You can hear it within the music. There's some elements, you know, that just are more thoughtful overall, and we're progressing as musicians, and it's kind of more nurturing, like a mother. And here comes the third. This is the Crone. So this next album, she's vicious and brutal, and you know, horny and a bit of a cunt. So you're going to get that viciousness. Yet it's the dying phase. So there's going to be elements of doom, heavier. It's a really heavy album.
That sounds pretty epic.
Yeah, I'm actually the most excited about this album thus far.
Well, Nave's told me about it. I'm excited about it too.
You should be.
I might get it to review for Metal Temple actually.
Please,
as well.
we'd be very happy to have that happen.
You were sort of saying, going back to you filling in for Johan and saying about being a woman in metal. The term female-fronted metal, how do you generally feel about that term being used?
It grosses me out, and everyone knows this, that I'm completely against that tagline. Female-fronted just really, it keeps us from progressing, and I feel that the sooner we can abolish it, the better. I really take my approach vocally, unsexed. So I always, like to quote Lady Macbeth, unsex me. So all of my influences come from men.
Yeah, okay.
And I respect that. I respect that this is a man's world, and I'm just kind of hanging out. It's fucking great. I get to be around a bunch of burly, bearded metal dudes that just take really good care of me. I'm not a fan of female vocalists very often. I mean, only Ann Wilson of Heart. She's been a pretty big influence on me, especially growing up. But I'll admit it, I have a bit of female shame. Being in metal, it's just you've just really got to you just got to remember to stay true to your art form. And like I said, I ain't afraid to show a little skin, especially with the first record. It was very overtly sexual, but again, it was the maiden phase. You're gonna if you have the brains and a moment to actually follow what I'm doing here, you'll see that there is absolutely a through line.
That's really because from what I understand, like talking to some people I know, they're sort of swayed by the decision if they hear female fronted. Yeah,
I wouldn't give it any time either. I think it's annoying. I'm annoyed by myself sometimes. I'm just being straightforward, like women, and as a woman, you just have to be strong and realize that the sooner you can break down that bullshit and just be an individual. Individualism is what I thrive on, and it's all that matters. It doesn't matter what gender you are. It doesn't matter who you love, what the color of your skin is. Fuck all that shit. All that matters if you're an individual, and that's what I want to be looked at.
That deserves
high five. All right, girl.
A high five. You rock. You rock.
Thank you.
I was actually going to go back to your sort of. Actually, you answered my questions about who your influences are as a vocalist, and now you've said Heart. I can hear that in your voice.
Yeah, Ann Wilson, without a doubt. I mean, I used to listen to that on vinyl with my little sister Sonia growing up, and just really loving Barracuda, and thankfully I was able to cover that with my last band, Chelsea Girls, and it just rips. Yeah. So Ann Wilson, absolutely, and then really driven by King Diamond and Rob Halford, and especially Freddie Mercury. Yeah, he's kind of my all-time number one.
I love him.
Yeah, me too.
I love him. I know it's a tall order. I want him to just rise from the grave and just sing to me at my front door.
Every time I hear his voice, I still feel like he's still alive. Very much so.
Yeah,
it still feels like he's alive. And I guess that's resounding for an artist, is that you'd want that immortality within your music.
Yes. There's a phrase somewhere that says, no good music has no expiry date.
Precisely. Timeless.
That'll be Huntress. I'm sure that'll be Huntress.
Let's hope.
Let's hope. Yeah. I sort of saw a few of your photos from your performances. I was interested of your stage persona, like the black fingers. What's your inspiration behind that? I just curious.
Well, again, it's the crone, and the embodiment and the living version of the crone to me is Michelle LeMay. Now, she is the wife of Rick Owens, who's a fashion designer who I just adore. So she just strikes me as the perfect muse, and I'm not the first. Rick Owens, that's his muse as well.
Yeah.
So she really inspired me to have the black fingertips, and even she wears these grills and has she's so cool and hip, and she's an older lady.
Yes.
So everything about her just rings true for me as my muse for album 3.
Fantastic. From reading up on your website, you appear like you guys are doing great. By the sounds of it, then there could be a Huntress takeover in 2015.
Well, it takes a lot of money to take over, and we just don't got it. And that's the thing, is that we've been very fortunate to have large bands that have taken us under their wing and supported us. Arch Enemy, Lamb of God, AMON AMARTH, Danzig, Dragon Force. I mean, all these. Yeah, that was our first band we toured with in 2012.
Wow.
I mean, we toured with them in the U.S., we toured with them over here, and they've just been great, So bands that are larger and have already been around for many years, they see something within Huntress that kind of reminds them ourselves of them back in the day.
Yeah, sure.
So it's been, you know, we would love to be able to be headliners, but that takes a tremendous amount of money. So we'll see. When we got the bank, we'll do it.
If you ever do get to headline, which I'm sure you will one day.
Oh yeah.
Which bands would you like to have under your direct support?
Oh gosh, you know, we'd have to wait and see when it occurs. There is one band that I simply love. It's Dreaming Dead. It's from Los Angeles, and again, Liz Shaw. She's the main songwriter. She's insane. She sings, she writes, and she shreds like a motherfucker. Wow. Yeah, I would really. You should check them out and maybe even hit them up for an interview, because Liz is totally badass. She smokes weed, she shreds death metal. Like
great.
She's rad.
This is what I like. This is what I like about women in metal.
Yeah.
Confident.
I would love to tour with Dreaming Dead someday. That would be tight.
Yeah. Just to sort of round up, because I'm not sure how much time I've got left. Is there with the metal scenes? Is there difference? Is there many differences and similarities between like the US and the UK?
I'm asked this question a lot. No, in one way, because all metalheads, you know, are just here because they fucking love heavy metal. Yes. And so if you're coming to a metal show, you better be here to have that enthusiasm.
Yeah.
However, there are towns, like the larger ones, sometimes they're a little bit, you know, university towns can be a little too cool for school, and I love fucking with those kids. Really, really do. You're gonna stand there with your arms crossed. I'm gonna scare you. So yeah, but overall, it's been a lot of fun for me, and the response, and I love winning people over, because you know they never really know what to expect. There's a lot of misconceptions, preconceptions that surround Huntress or even again, quote unquote female fronted bands. So you're coming in, you don't know what to expect, and it's always nice to kind of abolish that and just bring it hard and change people's perceptions.
It's my first time seeing you tonight, so I'm really excited. Well, listening to your music.
Awesome.
That's a friend's recommendation, actually.
Excellent,
so,
excellent.
No, I liked what I heard, so
I think we're stronger live than even on our recordings. Yeah, I think that we're shifting into making our recordings stronger so it can match up with our live shows. Our live shows have a lot of strength and power behind them, more than the recordings thus far.
Ooh, I can't wait, because some of the songs on the record as well. So I imagine they'll be good live. Well, thank you, Jill. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, it's been great talking to you.
It's been great.
Thank you.